Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/firstpawmedia. From First Paw Media, sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company, this is the Dog Driver Show. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert Forto and Kourosh Partow.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert Forto and you're listening to the Dog Driver Podcast, and I'm joined by my co-host Kourosh Partow. Kourosh, we have a guest calling in from Norway. What can you tell us about him?
We have a world champion calling from Norway today, and I met him many years ago at the World Championship in North Pole, Alaska for the first time. We have Yngve Hoel from Norway with us. He is a skijorer, and we're going to listen to him. He has a lot of experience in the international and national events in skijoring. Yngve, welcome to the show, and tell us who you are. And what are you all about?
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, I live in Norway, in Oslo. I have been into sled sport for many years. I started when I was 11 with my first competition. My family have always had dogs, and got my first GSP when I was 5. And I was a cross-country skier in the beginning too. So then the way was short into ski dog and dry land also. I normally do the ski dog classes, Skijoring and Pulk, and also the dry land classes. Mostly scooter 1 and 2 dogs, and also bike touring. And I have also competed in the Norwegian Championship in sprint 4 dogs sled on snow. I've been into a lot of disciplines, but not mid-distance and not the long-distance classes.
Yngve, I remember you the first time at the World Championship. You were there with your sister Yvette, and I believe your dad was with you also. And you had a very nice program, beautiful dogs you had prepared for the World Championship. These dogs are the dogs you breed normally for yourself and only for the polka and skijoring, or these are purchased from other people?
And most of our dogs, or actually all our dogs, since 2005, has been our own bloodlines. That means we have had either the father or the mother or all our dogs. For now, I have 2 dogs, Rio and Ellie. They are a mix between German Short-haired Pointer, English Pointer, and Greyhound. And why this breed? And my experience is that this mix is almost perfect for ski dogs and also dry land with distances from 3, 4, 5 kilometers and up to 30 kilometers, which is the longest we have in the ski dog classes. So I think it's a good mix for those kind of races, which I do.
Yngve, did you say 30 kilometers?
Yeah, the longest races we have here in Norway in the ski dog class is 30 kilometers.
Oh.
That's only a few races. So the normal races are normally from 10 to 15K.
If I remember correctly, when I met you, your dogs, they were mainly GSP English Pointer mixes back then. And I believe we had even one dog in the background of your dogs and my dogs, actually, the same from Bjørn Sigurd Andersen. How did you change from the purebred pointers, Forto pointer, to greyhound mixes, and why?
That's a good question. The first dogs we had when I was young, like I said, from I was 5 years old, was the pure GSPs, and I also competed with the pure GSPs until 2005, and then I bought Spiro. He's behind all my dogs. He was a mix between GSP, English Pointer, and also Greyhound. And I think that kind of mix. Of course, you have a lot of GSPs that are both fast and have the right stamina and the right head, etc. But personally, I think that this kind of mix between GSP, English Pointer, and Greyhound, for example, that I really like that kind of mix because I like their head. They are just low to run, and they run really. They can easily run for many kilometers in high speed, and they are also really easy to have inside the house and everything. So for what I do, I find that this kind of breed is really good for me.
That's very good. Yngve, I'm really interested is the longevity that you have in Skijoring class, because we all get older, and new drivers, they come and new blood comes in the sport. In the sled category, where I run, we are less active. We are, especially in open class, you're behind the sled the whole time. But in Skijoring, you have to be fit. You have to be as fit as your dog. How do you prepare yourself as we are all aging, to be still a champion?
In the skido classes, we train ourselves just like a normal cross-country skier. So like I said, I competed in cross-country skiing for many years. So I have adapted the exact same training into my sport. So basically, I train exactly the same way myself that a normal cross-country skier do, and that means maybe 600 hours training a year for myself, and that means in the summer we do a lot of roller skiing, running, of course, strength training, and in the winter, of course, a lot of skiing, and all our competitions are skating techniques. So we do a lot of skating, and we train exactly the same way as cross-country skiers, with 1 or 2 trainings each day.
That is very impressive, Yngve, and because you're having a professional athlete approach to this sport instead of a canine athlete that we are usually preparing. Tell me about your training. You talked about training. Explain to me what you do summertime, wintertime, and give me a little bit of background about your training program.
Yeah. In Skidog, because my main goal is the winter and the Skidog races. So for me, a new training season starts the 1st of May. Then we set the goal for the next season. We start planning the training for the next season, or actually from the 1st of May. And then we plan the whole training until our main goal for the season, for example, the World Championship in maybe February or March the year after. And then we, in the summer, or in the spring and also in the summer. We start with the dogs and we swim with them. If it's cold enough, we do harness training, but of course that depends on the temperature because it cannot be too warm for the dogs to do harness training. And we do mostly short distances, depending also not only on the temperature but also the humidity, etc. And then we go, for example, bike touring if it's cold enough. And we also have, me for example, I like also running in the mountains. So I also do some mountain running with the dogs in a leash. So we try to combine different styles of training in the summer and spring also. And in Norway we have a rule saying that from the 1st of April until the 20th of August, we are not allowed to have the dogs running free. So after the 21st of August, we also have a lot of free running with the dogs. And then I can run 1-2 hours, for example, and the dogs are running free together with me. So, and like I said, for myself, it's running, it's roller skiing, it's intervals, it's low intensity training, high intensity training, strength training, etc.
Yngve, do you have a coach?
We have a coach in our national team. We do have a coach, but I also have I have a lot of people. I discuss training, etc. with a lot of people, and we are also trying to learn from other sports. So I have a lot of friends who are top athletes in other sports, for example, cross-country skiing and biathlon, etc. So we try to discuss training and learn from each other. So we try to base our training both on both the dogs and ourselves on the same principles as for other sports. So actually now I'm also taking I'm participating in a 2-year elite coach program myself. So we are 22 elite coaches or national team coaches from 17 different sports. And where the topics are, for example, performance culture, high-performing teams, planning of training, physiology, coaching, etc. So I also try to learn as much as I can from all those sessions also. So we have a coach, but we also try to be curious and learn from each other, both from friends and also from other sports.
This is very impressive compared to what we are used to in the United States and in Alaska. I mean, you are programmed to win. And I'm not a skijorer, of course, but I follow the races and the World Championship. And why do you think that we have athletes coming from the United States, North America, and race at the World Championship against teams and dogs from Norway, Finland, Czechoslovakia, and we get pulverized? Why do you believe that your skijoring program is so much superior compared to what we have here? And we have the same type of dogs here.
I think there are a lot of really, really good dogs in a lot of different countries. Like you said, there are the breeding could be the same, and there are the same bloodlines, etc. So I think that Of course, we have maybe, of course, a great. There has been races in Norway for many years in Skijoring and Pog, for example. So I guess that we have a kind of built up a knowledge about what kind of training works for the dogs. But as I also said, both myself and a lot of other competitors from both Norway and other nations as well are also adapting training programs or knowledge we get from other sports as well. So it's a really good question, and I don't have a really good answer to it, because I think could be a lot of factors. Like I said, different training that has worked for many years here in Norway, for example. But I also see that there are a lot of ways of doing this, because in Norway also, we on the national team, for example, there are quite a few different ways of doing this. So we are not training exactly the same way, for example. So I think that we would try to be professional in the way we are training, in the way we are having the dogs, try to be professional with everything from training to equipment to nutrition to rest to we try to be as professional we can. So and I think that if you train with good quality every time you train, and do that for a long period, then you have really good chance of having great results.
You mentioned the best equipment at the best nutrition. How do you feed your dogs?
I use both dry food, but also raw food. So I use Halla raw food and Appetit dry food, and we're also part of the Krill pet team. So we have a lot of good food for the dogs, and I used to give my dogs food twice a day. And I try to be really. I try to give them much water on a daily basis. So actually, I'm not doing it in a complete different way when it comes to competition, because I try on an everyday basis to make sure that the dogs get enough water, food or snacks after training to recover fast, etc. So I think that that works well for me. So and my dogs. So but also there are different ways of doing it. So I guess that we only have to find a diet that suits you well and suits the distance and the discipline that you are doing.
What about the equipment? As a skijorer and a champion, you have to have the top of the line equipment and also waxing. Who does the waxing for you, and how do you prepare your skis and your your skis, not your runners, for each competition?
My dad, he has been waxing my skis for years now, so I've been very lucky to have a father that used many hours preparing for the competitions, and also really good help from the rest of the family. So I'm really happy about that. And the skis are, of course, an important thing. And first of all, it's we try to find the right pair of skis that works really well on different conditions. So we try to find skis that, for example, when it's soft conditions, we try to find skis that's good for that, and same if it's hard or icy conditions, there might be some other skis that work. So we try to find some good skis, and when we have a good pair of skis or some good pairs of skis, we of course the waxing is important as well, but the main thing is having the correct or the right skis. That's I guess that's more important than the waxing itself. The waxing is only the last part of the finish before the competition. So
just out of curiosity, Yngve, when you go to a world championship, how many sets of skis do you take with you?
I guess that depends on where it is, but
if it's in Sweden.
Sorry?
If it's in Norway or Sweden, somewhere you can drive to.
No, maybe 7-8 pairs or something, I guess.
Okay, that's the difference between us and you. Very interesting, very interesting. What I noticed also, Yngve, that your dogs, I remember from years ago, you had one dog, he stayed in my mind, Murio, I believe his name was, very calm and quiet inside the hotel area, but when you put him online, he would just turn to a completely different animal. Do you train him, or the nature of them is to being calm and quiet inside the house?
No, I guess that's the nature of them, because Murio, he was like I said, all our dogs are after Spiro, so he was the son of Spiro, and they have been like that, all of them. Rock was the brother of Murio, he was the same. Noah had two dogs, like I said, Rio and Ellie. They are the same breeding, and they are exactly the same. They are really, really calm inside, and when you put them on the starting line or you put a harness on them, they just love to run. So I guess that's natural from their side. But of course it's also when you have calm dogs and you get a puppy in the house, of course the puppy will also in most times will also the puppy be calm.
Yngve, I have one final question before we go. As you know, in just a couple of weeks from now, the Olympics will be held over in China this time. What are your thoughts about skijoring becoming an Olympic event sometime in the future? Do you think it holds promise? I think it would be a great sport to add. You know, they have horse events with people. Why not dog events? What are your opinions on skijoring in the Olympics?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, my first year of racing back in 1994, I was 11 years old. Then in skijoring and also the sled. So it was a demonstration sport in the Lillehammer Olympics. So I was participating there as 11 years old, and that was a really great experience for me. So I also hope that in the future, skijoring or sled sport will be an Olympic, a part of the Olympics as well. I really think there are a big opportunity for us if we are able to be a part of it, because I guess then our sport could grow a lot across the world. And but of course there are also some might be a negative aspects about, for example, if you have to be sure that the dogs are handled well from every country and every participant. So the dog care is absolutely perfect. So I guess if we are going to a higher level, which I really hope, we have to be sure also that we that for example the dog handling is great, because it doesn't help if the sport is really big if the dogs are not taken really good care of. So, but yes, I absolutely hope we will one day be a part of for example, the Olympics, because I think then. My goal has always been to make this sport even more professional. Of course, there have to be room for everyone. So both those athletes who are trying to reach the top, but also people who have a dog and just want to have fun with the dog and to maybe come to a competition. So of course there has to be a room for everyone, but for these sports as kind of the elite athletes, I guess I also hope that there might be opportunity in, for example, the Olympics someday.
Very good, very good. KP, anything else before we go?
No, Yngve, I wanted to thank you for spending the last 25 minutes with us. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you. Looking forward to see you in Alaska again. And good luck with the training season and your school and everything. And talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Very good. On behalf of our guest today and my co-host, this is Robert for the Dog Driver Podcast. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
From First Paw Media, this is the Dog Driver Show. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you can see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert Forto and Kourosh Partow. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.